Welcome to the Bookkeepers Club review. My name is Keisha and I am the bookkeeper. I created this channel because I love books. I love spicy books. I love high stakes, oh my God, on the edge of the seat, can't go to sleep type books. Like, I love books. And I've always wanted to start like a book club. I have tried so many things to start book clubs with my friends and just with different work schedules, and y'all know how it is trying to get everyone to like meet up at the same time and just find people type of taste that I have in books. It was really hard. So I said I was going to stop waiting on people and I was just going to start doing. And so I said, well, why not create a YouTube channel? So if you're on this video, it's because you also like books and you wanted to see what this thing was about. So I'm not even going to hold you guys. We're going to get to learn more about each other as we continue to do more book reviews, but I just want to get straight into it, okay? So this month I read my first book. We're going to start off with a book by a Black female author called Single Black Female. You guys see that? Her name is Tracy Brown. All right, so this was my first book that I've ever read by this author. I had never heard of her until I went researching, trying to find books about friendship. I kind of always gear towards like urban literature because I just enjoy, again, the high stakes, the fast paced and movement of it. Like, I just love it. So I went to researching and I found this book. This author, from what I see, has written so many different books. Again, it's my first book that I've read from her. So I'm going to give you guys my honest review, my honest opinion, and that's what it's going to be. Going to be real honest. So Single Black Female. Single Black Female is about four group of friends. The friendship dynamic is, really good friends. One of the girls, one of the main characters, her name is Ivy. And Ivy is kind of the nucleus of the other three girls, and they have this friendship circle. It is Ivy, Nikki, Coco, and Deja. So Ivy has a long-term relationship with a guy, and he, for whatever reason, he gets locked up in prison. He's there for a long time, and Ivy decides that she wants to kind of move on with her life. Michael, he's someone that has a street history, kind of in the past known to be this really kind of, cruel, mean fella, and he's not really taking too kindly to her wanting to leave the relationship, especially while he's locked up. So with that being said, Ivy goes on a search to find herself, and she deals with the ups and downs of leaving that relationship and the struggles, and her friends kind of help her. All their lives are entwined, but the friends kind of each survive some type of support and helping her to move on. So yeah, that was like the gist of the book. My overall thoughts. Okay, my overall thoughts. This book, I felt like it was very lighthearted. Like, if you do not want to read a book about black people, all women are black, main characters are black, people of color. If you don't want to, if you're tired of the trauma, maybe you're sick of the drugs and everybody shoot up, getting beat up, and prostitutes killing, all that. If you're tired of that, this definitely would be a good, easy read for you. Again, it was very warm. It was lighthearted. For me, I felt like it wasn't meant much action. Again, it was mostly driven by the character relationships with one another, not necessarily plot driven, in my opinion. No trauma at the forefront, and it definitely shows an allegiance and strong bonds between females in a positive light. Again, I'm a girl's girl. I love friendships. I have awesome friends. So anytime there's a book about females that come together, band together, I'm definitely going to be on for it. So this book definitely gave you that. Let's go about what I liked. The book was very well written. As far, I didn't catch not one grammatical error. The book had good choice of word usage. The author did a very good job at writing this book. I'm very particular, again, about books, so I'm a picky about these things. I like that the positive relationship Ivy has with her ex's family and how involved they were in the kids' life. It definitely showed black families in a positive manner. And again, that's something that you don't necessarily see too much in books. and I really thoroughly enjoyed that. Even though Ivy and her husband, long-term relationship guy name was Michael, although they were not together anymore, she still had that relationship with his sisters, and he did have one sister she didn't necessarily care for, but she still allowed the children to have a bond and a relationship with them. And again, I really enjoyed that because I felt like it gave a different perspective of what we typically encounter when talking about or referencing the Black families. I love the body positive image that this book gave for women of all sizes. Don't want to go away, give you too much of who's what, where, and how, but it definitely encouraged body positivity for women of all shapes and sizes, and that's something I enjoyed. The maturity of the characters and the bonds felt very real life relatable. As I was reading it, I definitely could see myself just with my female friends, how we have girl talk, how we talk to one another for just encouragement, or if we have a problem or issue. So I definitely enjoyed that. It was real relatable. It was very easy going, easy read. I did enjoy the growth of the characters and how it mimicked real life scenarios on moving on and letting go to do what's best for you. Because as women, oftentimes we do not do that. Ivy, she struggles with letting go of this relationship, but she's determined that at this point it's time for her to move forward and at any cost. Again, I enjoy that because as women, we always are putting ourselves on the back burner. We kind of stay in relationships a little too long, whether it's friendships, jobs, romantic relationships, simply because we're loyal, and women's are brought up to always be taught that to be loyal and to just stay no matter what. And this book definitely did an awesome job at depicting the struggle that females go through when we're trying to make a decision that's best for us, but not necessarily best for those that surround us. So I definitely enjoyed that part of the book. I like that they faced real life challenges for them to be able to better themselves. What I mean by this is one aspect of the book, the main character Ivy, again, she moves into a nice neighborhood, and it's a predominantly white area, and yes, it's a upgrade. It's something she should be happy for. It's a success for her, but she also encounters a lot of tension and a lot of things that, just because she moved to this area. And again, that definitely hit home with me because sometimes we tend to, I have put my children in certain schools in certain areas because we felt like it would better serve them because it was a better school or a better opportunity. And sometimes the backlash of that is maybe not even racism or anything, but it could just be that because they're not kin to the children, they don't see a connection with that child just because of cultural connections, that sometimes the children are a lot of times misunderstood. So I definitely had personal experiences with that. So although the scenario in the book was different, I definitely related to it because I know firsthand how you could be in one environment to better yourself, but because of the complexion of your skin or because you're not from that area, that you tend to have a different experience than those that are. So I really, really like that. Again, a very good job at taking real life scenarios and implementing it into a book. Yeah, so that's it. Now here's the part I don't like, and I have to give you guys what I didn't like about the book. This is probably going to be, I have the hardest part of all of these videos because I love books, and I know these authors take so much time, and they just pour their heart into it, and no one wants to hear what's wrong with it. But again, the bookkeeper has to keep it real with you, and I got to tell you the truth. All right. So again, books and feelings are subjective to the reader. So these are my feelings. What I did not like about the book was the frequent and unannounced perspective shift, also known as head hopping. It's done a lot in this book. The chapters don't even separate. There's no line break. In the same paragraph, I get to hear what Ivy is thinking, but then I also know what Michael is thinking. I know what Deja is thinking. I know what her husband, the sergeant, the police guy, is thinking. Then you leave from one paragraph from being at Deja's house and her scene without a page break, anything, and now all of a sudden you're at her sister Nikki's scene, and it was just really, really hard to keep up with. I don't know if it was intentionally written like this. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. again, I told you guys in the beginning, I love on the edge of my seat, thrill pack, what's going on, oh my god, I got tissues, I'm crying, I don't know, my heart's going crazy because of this book. Action packed books. And this book just kind of fails me on that area because it wasn't enough action in my preference. Like, even at some points I was like, oh, it's about to get real juicy, and it didn't happen. And again, you know, it probably was the author's intent. It's not a, you know, what we would typically call urban fiction to me. Sometimes I think books get the title urban fiction just because it's a black author about black characters, and this book didn't really give urban vibes from what we're traditionally used to. So I that was something I didn't like. I did not like that the climax centered around an event that happened to do with the main character's children. It just kind of made the story take a different direction than I anticipated. And for some reason I didn't like it. With that being said, I will say I probably didn't like it because of the emotional feeling and the real life feeling it gave to me. Again, I don't want to give away the book. I want you guys to purchase and read if it's something you're interested in. So I don't want to tell you about the climax scenario, but it definitely evokes some feelings in me. And I think, again, as we talked about the trauma, sometimes we get tired of the past trauma, but when you're dealing with things that really is going on in today's society, it definitely brought it to the forefront. And typically when I read, I do like to escape, and that just brought a little bit of too much realness for me. And again, it's not a bad thing. So I'm bipolar with this because again, as an author, you want your book to hit people in their gut where it hurts. You want to give some realness to it, and that she definitely did awesome with that. But because the book was about the single black females and what they were dealing with, again, this scenario definitely touched every mother's heart. But at the same time, I think it could have been a little bit more edgier or whatever. If it kind of just centered around the adults, maybe it could have got a little bit more, you know, graphic or steamy. Again, something my own personally that I probably would have liked or wanted. Next, okay, one of the characters, Deja, I told you. So Deja is married to a police sergeant. And basically, Deja's, I didn't like that she was portrayed as a sellout simply because she chose a safe life. I wanted her to be firm on her choices that she made. I wanted her to stand in it. I wanted her to not feel bad for choosing safety and for choosing softness. Again, like I just didn't want her to be portrayed as a sellout due to that choice. But again, it sparks a conversation. It's a great conversation starter when reading the book, and I'm sure the author probably wanted to do that. But for me, I just wanted her to stand firm. So it was just a character arc that I like. So not necessarily about the writing, but I just wanted her to stand firm on her decisions. And at the end of the day, overall, I think I just needed more juicy mixed in with the storyline. I felt like it was very surface. Again, this is the first time, again, I've read this book. I'm going to keep showing you guys. It's such beautiful cover work, you know. But this is my first time reading it. I don't know if there's any, I don't think there's no prequels or anything that kind of came before us. I think it's a standalone. But nevertheless, the characters were kind of surface level for me. I think in some points it would have been nice for us to kind of dig a little bit deeper into the characters. Like, I want to know how Michael and Ivy got together. I know why he was in jail, but maybe if I could just know a little bit more of the dynamics. It did touch on it, but it was really brief, so it kind of left me not really invested in the characters too much. Same thing for the rest of them. You get a surface level, you know, maybe experience or whatever about them and their kind of background. Again, very quick, not really too deep. And for me, I would have liked it to go just a little bit more deeper so that I become more invested in these characters. And for that reason, that's the, like, it didn't really kind of get me there. So final recap, I've already told you this is my first book by this author. I completed this book in 7 days. The talent of the author is awesome. The cleanliness, the writing, the flow of it was definitely impeccable. Loved it. On a 5-star rating, I would give it a 3.5 stars, only because, again, the head hopping, that's like a really pet peeve for mine. It left me really confused. So I just didn't personally like that. That definitely take away a whole star. And so I'm gonna give a 1/2 star takeaway also, simply because I just felt like I would have enjoyed more action with it being labeled as a urban fiction book. I just kind of wanted a little bit more stakes at the end for me, and it just didn't give me that from beginning to end. And that's all. So Otherwise, again, this author has written so many books. I probably will give another one a try just to see, you know, if it could get just a little bit more edgy, or if this is just this author's particular style of writing. But again, very good. If you like a light-hearted, you know, sisterhood bond, something easy reading, I definitely think that you would enjoy. This book is available everywhere. You could get this book on Amazon, Target, Walmart, inside the stores. But because you guys watch my book review, if you are definitely interested in it, I want to let you know there's a website called Outlet Books. I found this book online. I did not get it from there. I ordered it off Amazon. But when I went to check it out, I definitely found this book at a price you cannot beat. I'm not even going to tell you how much it costs here. Just go check out outletbooks.com. Purchase this book. It's on the low. Like, subscribe if you enjoyed this review. There are going to be many more to come, and I just can't wait for you guys to grow with the bookkeeper. I'm Keisha, and I'll see you next time.